Hello, welcome to Learn, Do, Become Radio. I'm April Perry, and today I'm sharing 3 aha moments that calmed my mind. And the reason I'm sharing these is because here at Learn, Do, Become, we help people who are overwhelmed by the details of life to create simple systems so they can do what matters most. And I love helping people to create systems. We teach something called the STEP Command Central that helps people take all the goals and projects and tasks and emails and all the stuff that's around your life and your office and puts it into a system so that you feel calm and you can get things done and have no clutter or no piles, which is really fun. But here's the thing. You can create systems and have places for your digital files and your papers and your emails and everything to go. But if you don't have a healthy mindset, those systems can potentially just drive you into overwhelm more efficiently. So the goal is not to get overwhelmed more efficiently. The goal is to be able to wake up excited and go to bed content. And as David Allen puts it, he's the author of the best-selling book, Getting Things Done. We want to be appropriately engaged with our lives. And I love that because if you have a spouse or children, loved ones, neighbors, community, and you want to be appropriately engaged and present, then the systems are really going to support you. And as I've shared in past podcast episodes, I did have an achievement addiction for a lot of years, for a lot of my life. And then I kind of even turned it into one of my biggest strengths because I thought, I can help my family and I can build a business and I can do lots of really good things with my awesome ability to achieve. But that ends up making you really sick and overwhelmed and feeling kind of frustrated sometimes. And so I've been working now to learn how to really be appropriately engaged. And it's a continual journey. I feel like generally I'm calm, but I'm still very wired to be productive. So sometimes here on the podcast, I just share a few things that are helpful to me in the present so that we can move along in this journey and be friends. And if you want to come leave a comment on the show notes page, you can share any additional insights that you've had, things that you've learned from your experiences, because it helps me to hear from you. Let's go ahead and dive into aha moment number 1. It's when I realized that it's not my job to make decisions for other people or to bear the consequences of their decisions. I do help people carry their burdens, but I don't assume ownership. And I know this feels like it should just be obvious, and maybe it is obvious to you. But subconsciously, I think I have made myself in charge of other people. I need to protect them from any sadness or harm or bad things that might happen, even if they dug the hole themselves. And so here's the way that I do it, because I like to be helpful. And I found that our community members here at Learn, Do, Become are incredibly compassionate, helpful, supportive people. And so that often causes problems because we like to, jump in and be the helper, be the hero, whatever. Okay, so here's the way I've been applying this. If I realize, I could jump in and solve a problem for another adult, I then ask, is that the best way to help them grow and develop? Or is it simply my way to erase the struggle from their life so I don't need to feel worried for them? And this one has been so challenging, but the better I'm getting at it, the more calm and happy I feel. And genuinely, I feel like I'm being more helpful to the people I love. And this can apply to friends, neighbors, coworkers, adult children, extended family, etc. One of the things I realized is when people share their burdens, they're not always asking me. In fact, most of the time, they're not asking me to come solve it. They just want to share and have someone empathize and care about them. And so by me thinking, there's a problem, let me go solve that, not only am I exhausting myself, but I'm often sticking myself into someone's life where they were not even asking for it. So that's been, helpful, kind of a sub aha there. The other thing that I realized is that when people are sharing their problems, sometimes they do want just some support, but it's not always support by you solving the problem. Maybe it might mean sending some encouraging texts or praying for them or sending over a resource that you think might be helpful or offering to drop by for an hour or so to work on something with them. And so just recognizing that there are a lot of ways we can serve people, but it's not our job to live their lives for them, especially with children. I think this has been the biggest aha for me with adult children, is to respect their desires, their opinions, and their capabilities, and know they're going to grow and they're going to figure things out. And they've got what it takes. They're going to do great. And if they have specific questions they want to ask me, of course, I'm here. But just recognizing that I'm not here to make people's decisions. I'm not here to live their lives. And when there are occasional people who do come and maybe want to dump things on me and have me fully take over their lives for them, which that happens very rarely, but sometimes it does, I'm learning how to create really healthy boundaries and say where I can be helpful, but not feel an obligation to just go solve it for them. It's kind of like the chick, cracking out of the egg. I'm so glad in hindsight that people didn't just jump in and solve all of my problems for me, because when I think about when I've grown the most in my life, and I want you to ask yourself this question too, the times when you've grown the most, what was happening in your life? Usually it was a big problem, right? Like you don't want to relive it, but usually our growth comes when we go through those problems. So, okay, not our job to make decisions or bear consequences for other people's decisions. Okay, number 2, I've learned that I don't need to create a life I don't like in order to create results I do. Okay, you might be wondering, wait, what are you talking about? One thing I think we have a tendency to do as humans is we have a goal, something that we're excited about, and we identify one way that we think we can achieve that goal. Maybe we've seen someone else achieve the goal that way, or maybe we've read about it, or we've brainstormed, or maybe in the past we did something a specific way. And so then we jump in and we do it, but then life starts to feel frustrating and overwhelming and we don't want to do it anymore. And we feel like we're just checking off lists, or we're using a lot of willpower and we're just pushing through every day to try to get those goals. And the thing is, I used to push myself a lot and I felt like, oh, this is so good. This is what athletes do. This is what successful people do. They just learn how to push, push, push. And then I found for me and my personality, and especially with my priorities as being self-care and closeness to God and having a strong marriage and being available for my children and serving in our community and trying to do my best work here at Learn to Become, I found that the more I pushed and pushed, the more exhausted I became and the more angry I was when I woke up in the morning, because I just felt like I have all this stuff I have to do. And all that energy that I needed to spend on the willpower piece then wasn't going to self-care or family or God or any of that. And I just felt like it was the only thing I was living for was to reach these goals, and the goals became king. And so when you think about it, this type of attitude where, pushing ourselves, put your nose to the grindstone, create this life you don't like to get the things you do want, that can apply to exercise, to nutrition, to how we schedule our days, to which business projects we choose, to how rapidly we decide we need to achieve our goals. I mean, pretty much every area of our lives can be impacted by this attitude. And this is something I own that for a lot of years, it was even subconscious. And that's why I'm bringing it up, because I didn't realize I was doing something that was hurting my outcome. I felt proud of myself and I felt like, well, this is what people do. You just set goals and you work really hard and you do stuff you hate because you want to get these awesome outcomes. And I realize that there are parts of every job that aren't really super fun. Like I've been dusting windowsills the last couple of days. That's not like my point of living? Like, I didn't love every messy diaper. I didn't love the tantrums. I don't love trying to navigate the needs of teenagers and trying to be diplomatic and trying to like always, handle tough situations delicately. Like none of that is super fun by itself. But I found that there are a lot of ways to find joy in how we do things, even the stuff that doesn't necessarily sound fun. And so one thing that I'm just working to do is anytime I notice myself looking ahead at my day and thinking, ugh, now I have to do this thing, I say, okay, what's a different way I could either achieve the same goal with a method I enjoy, or how could I adjust my life so that this isn't this glaring issue for me anymore? Yesterday, there was a friend of mine who I really wanted to support, and she invited me to attend this event she was putting on. And I really didn't want to go to that specific event, but I really care about my friend. But I didn't want to go to the event because there were other things happening at home I felt I needed to be there for. And leaving for this event felt like, I'm not going to be able to do the things I need to do. And I needed some rest because there was another event we needed to attend right after, and I needed time to eat. And I was like, oh, shoot. But I decided, I'll just go to the event because I want my friend to know I support her. So I did. And then after all the events were over for the day, I was walking Sunny with Eric, and I said, I am so tired. And he's like, you did this to yourself. And I was like, don't tell me that. I want you to say, oh, I'm sorry you're tired. How can I help you get rest? Or I don't know. And he said, well, April, let's talk about it. He goes, because I watch you, and I watch how you love to overextend yourself for people. You do it for me. You do it for the kids. You do it for neighbors and friends. And he just said, how can I support you so that you don't feel like you need to overextend? So I walked through it and said, well, here's why I chose to do it. And we did all that, conversation. And then he eventually, as we were talking, I realized, I need to just accept his advice here because he can see the full picture of what this does to me. And I just said, you know what, that's a really good point. I will look at other options next time because my friend can still know she's supported if I'm not at that event. I think she appreciated me being there, but that wasn't the only option. And then also, like, I've been doing their YouTube channel for years, and I'm excited. Like, I have this dream of having a really strong YouTube channel where people can come learn all about our STEP program and Arise and get the principles, whether they join the programs or not. And I can record these videos that maybe my great-grandchildren even could watch and put these things out there for the world and just be able to help more people. That's been a big goal of mine. And so I signed up for a YouTube course a few years ago. I went through the whole course twice. I attended coaching calls. I've listened to all this stuff. I've learned about the thumbnails and the titles and done a bunch of things with their videos. And some of the videos, because you're like working with the YouTube algorithm, and there's all these things they teach you, like don't send links to YouTube to your list, or you need to title it a certain way, or you need to use these keywords in your titles consistently so other ones will get traction when you release a new video, and stay on your schedule and look at the hours you release and make sure it's just the right time. Like there's all these like rules that you're supposed to follow in order to get these awesome results. So I have recorded over 100 videos in the last few years, and I've enjoyed them, but every single video I've recorded has felt stressful to me because I was like, I don't know, is this the right intro? Does my hair look weird? How is this shirt? I wear this too many times. Like I don't have that many shirts. I'm pretty simple. Anyway, I had all these worries, and then if I'm like having my womanly cycle that week and I don't feel like recording videos, so then I'm postponing it, and my cute daughter comes and records with me. She's great. But sometimes I'm like, I don't feel good today. I don't want to do it. Can we do another day? And it's just taken so much energy to try to like fit into this system to do YouTube. And so finally, that's where this aha moment has helped me feel so calm. When I realized I don't need to create a life I don't like in order to create results I do. I finally realized, you know what? Learn to become will move on whether I do YouTube or not. I still want to do YouTube because I think it's fun, but I got out my dream journal and I wrote, what are the components of a stress-free YouTube channel? And then I brainstormed, and it was things like, I don't have to worry if the title and thumbnail aren't perfect and getting the best click rate and all that. I'm just not going to worry about it. I'm going to make a title and thumbnail and just call it good. I also am not going to worry if I stick to a schedule or not. I'll maybe post every week, or maybe I'll post once a month, or maybe I'll do it haphazardly. And I'm going to send the links out to my community for now. That's my plan, because I want to get feedback and I want to know if it's helping people. And so why not just send it out to people? And I just put together, I'm not going to feel like I have to say everything perfectly. If I kind of mess up, I won't redo it 12 times. I'm just going to say it and call it good. Anyway, I wrote out all these things, and all of a sudden I realized I like my life again. Like, I do not feel this stress. I don't want to be like a quote YouTuber where I'm on a schedule every week and I have to do all these things. There are other ways that I can serve, and that just isn't working for me. It doesn't feel good at this season in my life. Maybe later, but for right now, I feel so much better. So we actually recorded a couple YouTube videos last week, and I had the best time. I got them done faster because I wasn't all stressed about the details. I had more fun. I didn't feel stressed going into it. I didn't need a nap right after. I felt so good. So anyway, I know you might think, why are you telling me all these details about YouTube? It's because from what I know about our community members, you're working on projects, you're moving forward in your profession, you're learning new skills, you're trying new things. And if right now you don't feel happy and excited about the way you're doing things, why not find a way to do those things, or at least make sure you're doing the right things, that feels happy and that helps you to feel excited? Like, why not do that? Because anytime we think, no, there's no other way besides just grinding, I believe that there is another way. And sure, my outcome isn't going to be the same maybe as it would be if I lived a life I hated to get that thing. I mean, there are some times where you think, well, if I just sacrifice and if I just push really hard and do a bunch of stuff I hate, I'll probably get the best results. But typically you have to keep doing those things you hate to maintain those results. And so anyway, that's my perspective just from my years of learning. Anytime I've played the game, let me be the martyr temporarily and it's going to pay off. There's always been a different way to do it. And anyway, I'm making changes now. I'm learning, okay? All right. And then finally, aha moment number 3 was when I learned I need to take care of myself 3 times better than I think I do in order to stay calm and healthy. Now, this is according to my personal wiring. Your situation may be different, but I am wired to be productive. And things like sitting still, resting, simplifying my lists, reducing my expectations, being okay with mediocre, etc., are all very uncomfortable for me. They're getting more comfortable, but it's been so hard for me to turn that switch off. It's more like a dial. I've been dialing it down. However, when I do those things like simplify and rest, about 3 times more than I'm inclined to do so, I feel calm and happy, and I have more energy for people. Plus, I feel happier about my life in general. I've also found that I expect more of myself than I believe God does. And that has been humbling for me because I like to think that all my activity is serving God. But I'm learning that when I push myself beyond what is appropriate for my energy, time, capacity, etc., I'm actually assuming I know better than God does. Like I'm saying, yeah, I know you've given me limits, but I can push past those limits. Those limits you put in the wrong place. They should have been way, way later in the day when I felt tired or something like that. Anyway, that's a habit I'm really working diligently to break. For example, today, I have been working consistently for the last 6 hours, doing some stuff for our home, doing some planning and organizing. I've had a bunch of phone calls, emails, bill paying, just like a bunch of stuff. And it was a long day yesterday, taking care of a lot of different unexpected things that came up, and the event I went to, and the extra event I went to, and all those things. Okay. So today I had on my list, well, hey, maybe I could batch podcast today, because sometimes it does work to batch. And so I have 2 more podcasts that I have all written out, and I thought, oh, I could record those today too. But that's going to take probably another hour and a half to 2 hours to get all that stuff prepped and done and edited, uploaded, all that stuff. And so I looked at my list and looked at the other things I wanted to do today. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to do this one today. And then potentially I can do the other two tomorrow. I don't have to do them right this second. And just giving myself that space, because initially my brain says, no, April, I bet you could batch. I bet you could get more done. Do you ever do that? You go run an errand. You're like, oh, I bet I could do 8 errands. I could do all the errands. I could do everything right this minute. So anyway, I am just doing this one today because there's been a lot of other stuff that I've been needing to do. And Eric even laughs sometimes. He says, April, why do you feel like you have to qualify it? You say things like, I'm just going to record one podcast today because I've done a lot of work today and yesterday. It's like, you don't have to say that. You can just say, I'm doing a podcast today, period. You don't have to give a justification for why you deserve a break. And I mean, am I the only person wired like that? Do any of you guys do that? Anyway, so I'm sharing my weaknesses because I'm hopeful that it'll just help you maybe be wiser than I am, than I have been. And if you want to share any additional aha moments, I would love to hear them. I do want to share a few fun success stories from our community because my life every day feels so joyful because I get to hear the stories from you. And I was talking with my sister yesterday, and she was saying she read this book about winning and how you need to celebrate your wins. And I said, I'm so bad at that. Like, I will do something that maybe I could consider a win, and then I just move on to the next thing. And she said, no, you got to celebrate. You're doing great stuff. That needs to be part of the celebration, because then you're creating your identity. I'm a winner. I do these things, and look at this, and look at these celebrations. I think another component of that is, for me, look at what God has done. Let me celebrate what God has done in my life or through me. That's something to celebrate too. So anyway, one of the things I did say is I love celebrating the wins of our community members. I genuinely do, because yes, in some way it's my win because I had some influence, but it's so easy for me to celebrate other people because they're obviously doing amazing things. So I'm just going to share a few today. This first one is from Dr. Melissa, and she's part of our Steps to Everyday Productivity program. She said, I joined just a week ago, and I am thrilled to tell you that I am sitting in my office as I type this message with tears at the back of my eyes. For the first time in a long time, that's all caps, I feel the hope that I can clear my mind of all the endless tasks that keep me feeling underwater. I'm a skeptic, and I have seen other systems before. This is the first one, all caps first, that blends strategy with practicality. Thank you so much. I'm definitely a fan. I love that. So Dr. Melissa, thank you. I'm so glad that you're finally feeling hope. When I hear people say, I've been underwater for so long and I finally have hope I can get out, it means the world to me, because that's how I felt, and I'm grateful to be watching what's going on. So well done. And then this next one is from Cherie, or Sherry, I'm not sure. It's Cherie. But she sent this beautiful photo in, and it's like a 6-foot tall bookshelf. But then she has all the parts of the Command Central on it, like her inboxes and projects and the tickler and routines, all her things. So you can come to the show notes page and see her photo. So great. And then she just wrote down, she's waiting on a cabinet, but this is the basic structure of my system. She also said, I have a small rolling file box where I put some of my desk supplies, my laptop, and a pencil case. And I use a larger basket for the odds and ends. So awesome. So you just got to come to the show notes page and see this awesome picture. Oh, beautiful. So fun. See, Command Central is being born all over the world. And then this final one came in from Cece, and it's a picture of a desk, and then it has 8 like 5x7 notepads, different colors across the desk. Okay. And then the systems behind it. And so you want to just come to the show notes page and look at it. But here's what she said. For what it's worth, for the low tech among us, this is how I capture and organize all the potential projects and tasks from mind sweeps. Each 5x7 pad is its own category. So house and garden, RV and car, dogs, business and tech, personal, and quote, life in order are the ones that work for me. I draw next projects from these lists, and I update these quarterly. I list my current projects and next actions on 5x7 pads also. Routines are on a separate typed list filed in my Command Central. So I love this because some of us are more paper. Like I love my dream journal. I love my sticky notes. I love my paper planner. I don't want to sit on a computer all day, but I love digital tools, to help a lot of those other things. We have other podcasts and videos on that. But when you can see how it's about organizing your mind and knowing where to go to find what you need. It's not about having paper or digital. It's about having clarity. And so Cece has done that. It's beautiful. Come see the picture. You're going to love it. Okay, that's all for today. I'm going to close up my work and I'm going to go take a walk with my dog and go eat some lunch and spend some time with friends and with our family tonight. It's so great. And I love that all the things I worked on today were the things that needed to get done. I got ahead on a lot of things. The whole week is planned and I can feel calm. It's because we have simple systems combined with mentally healthy patterns, so I don't push myself into overwhelm. Anyway, I just want to encourage you to do that because once you have the systems and the mindset working together, and then help from your higher power, you add that in, it's amazing. And then that's when you start genuinely waking up excited to go live your life and going to bed content. And I want to share, one more thing before I close. I was talking to a dear friend recently. I'm going to keep this totally anonymous because this friend is struggling. Her life's in a frenzy right now. And she is jumping from feeling stressed about finances to feeling stressed about life in general, to feeling stressed about professional work, to feeling stressed about health and body image and going in circles. And in a moment where she was opening up and sharing, she said, "I'm not suicidal, but if I could die right now, I would die right now. I just want some other cause to bring it on, but I would rather die right now." And I bring this up because I've had moments in my life where I felt that way, where I'm like, I'm not going to harm myself, but I can't do it anymore. I can't keep pushing myself, and I'm getting tired, and I'm not seeing results for all my work, and I can't fix it, and then I blame myself. And I just thought it would just, if all this could just go away, I would feel so much better. And what we teach here at Learn to Become, it's not organize your emails and your life's going to be fixed. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying when you learn how to calm yourself down and look at what needs to happen and figure out what projects, what steps do I need to take to get my mental health in check, to figure out my finances, to figure out my next steps in my business or my professional work, and you work on just a few things at a time that feel manageable, and you adjust and assess as you go, and you are around people who are healthy, you're going to notice that those feelings of sinking and thinking I just can't do it, those just start to go away. And the last time I felt that way was right before I discovered how to build my command central, because I was just going in circles and trying everything. And that was why I don't know if I've ever shared this part, but when I read the book Getting Things Done, and when my brain could understand, okay, all the stuff I've done and learned and all things in my planner and all this stuff, okay, I could build a system to get myself out of overwhelm. That's why I stayed in my pajamas for a whole week and fed my kids cereal for every meal, because I could finally see that I could get out of that drowning feeling. And it was I'm just going to go build my system because I don't want to do this. I can't live like this anymore. I'm not living. I am just so stressed. And it wasn't until just this minute as I was recording this podcast that I realized I have never felt that low ever again. I've had low moments. We've had hard moments. But I've never felt that feeling like I just can't do it. There's been a measure of hope because I at least know, okay, what can I control? What can't I control? How do I use my command central to just control what I can and move forward? And it's changed my life. And so I just want to add that on for you, because people don't go right on social media how they're feeling when it's like that. Or they might, but then people don't know how to respond, and But if you are one of those people right now, or you have been, or if maybe in the future you find yourself in a spot where you just feel like that, those feelings of desperation, there are clearly lots of professionals and mental health specialists who you want to go to and who need you. And I did recommend my friend do that as well. And that's why I talk about cognitive behavioral therapy on here a lot, and Dr. Burns and all his books, because those have been super helpful. So of course I want you to get the professional help that you need. But I also encourage you, figure out how to get your mind organized, and figure out how you can create a system to support you so you don't need to feel that way again. Or at least you'll have those tools to get out quickly. And anyway, we're here for you at Learn to Become. The reason I'm recording these podcasts, the reason I'm doing this work, is because I don't want you to have those low moments. And I want you to be able to invest that time and energy in yourself to move forward. If you're thinking like, okay, well, what if I'm not joining your STEP program right now? How do I get started? We have a brand new free welcome kit at learndobecome.com/welcome. Please come download that, share it with your friends. It gives you quick ways to get started with your current projects list, your next actions list, learn everything we have here at Learn to Become. And we have so much free stuff. We have a whole directory we'll send you once you get your welcome kit. When you sign up for your welcome kit, it includes a directory so that you can see, here's all the topics we cover. Here's all the podcasts organized by like length and topic and everything. Here's all our videos. Here's all our free downloads. We've been doing this we're turning 10 this year, 10 years at Learn to Become. So please come get the welcome kit, and learndobecome.com/welcome. Of course, we have our Arise membership. This month we're talking about finances. Eric's a genius at that. And anyway, it's so fun. So we're doing that. And then also we have our Steps to Everyday Productivity program where you can build the Step Command Central. Hopefully it'll change your life. But yes, there's lots of free ways to get started as well. I will close up. I love you. Have a great day. We'll see you soon at learndobecome.com.